What's up, y'all? I was making some roast beef, and I'm gonna do the pressure cooker roast beef today. And I felt like I just record it, put this thing in the food porn room, show y'all what's good. All right. So basically, I got my roast beef. This motherfucker about I don't know, what's that, a couple pounds or some shit for like a roast beef. Just find the best roast beef you could get. Some nice marbling on it. It's typically a fat piece of meat. So they got a lot of fat content, but very flavorful and tough. Typically, it takes a long time to cook, unless you got one of these pressure cookers, which I'm going to be using today. So basically, you want to first thing you want to do is dry off your roast beef as soon as you get it out the package or whatever however you get it. Make sure it's dry. Pat it dry with some paper towel. Oil that thing up with some olive oil, about a couple of tablespoons. And then season it however you like. Today I just used some Montreal steak seasoning, keeping it real simple, and I put some extra pepper on it. The pepper is really good. A little Worcestershire sauce as well. I preheat the oven for 400 degrees. Left it in there for about an hour to get this nice browning on it. You gotta see, the reason I put it in the oven, you see that even coating of browning on there? See the edges there, man? That even coating of browning on the outside. That's why I put it in the oven. And then, as well, so that you don't have to skim off any fat, a lot of the fat has rendered and hit the bottom of this pan. I cooked it on top of this rack here that I got from my pressure cooker in the oven. A lot of the fat came down and rendered. It's on down here. So that won't be in your stew. As you can see, the intermuscular fat here in between the crevices, a lot of it has rendered out. So that won't be in your end product. Moving over here, I got some chopped up celery, carrots. Got some mushrooms. I just halved them. I cleaned them up with some paper towel. Get some of the dirt off of it. And we got some. I have some leftover tomato from last night's BLTs. Onions and bell peppers. You're also gonna need some garlic. Got some minced garlic here, being lazy. As well as I got some red wine. Typically you want to use a dry wine like Merlot. I got some cheap red wine from Aldi's today. That about it. You could also make sure you got some herbs. I got some dry herbs that I'm gonna be bringing. Some thyme. Let's see. Whatever herbs you like, man. You can put some rosemary in that bitch if you got some dry rosemary. I'm going to be using a little bit of thyme and dry rosemary as well. But, yeah, that's where we at right now, man. I got the pressure cooker preheated, You're going to go in there with a little bit of olive oil and saute that thing. Saute your onions and bell peppers. That's what we're doing. I got them a large cut because I'm going to be putting them in the pressure cooker today, and I don't want them to totally disappear. They'll basically melt. So I'm gonna go in there with a little bit of olive oil. Don't use extra virgin because it has a lower smoking point. I ain't got that much left, but I think that'll be it. That's all we're gonna need, really. I think should be hot by now. So I'm just going there with the bell peppers and onions. Let that percolate real quick. Got me a little wooden spoon. Gotta break up these onions. You can separate them beforehand, but it's not necessary. Break them up, cuz. You know what I mean? Alright. Let that chill. Got a couple more onions in here. Tell my wife I did that, she'll kill me. A couple onions. You know what I mean? So y'all niggas know how to saute, man. Saute your bell peppers and onions up, man. Get a nice little color on it. I got the pressure cooker set to the hottest setting, which would be the saute, I believe. So it's on hot. percolating, it's doing this thing. We want to come back. And I'm going to get my herbs ready. Just get these out the cabinet. I only got one hand. I'll be right back with y'all. Alright, man, back. It's only been about a couple of minutes. I was looking for my herbs. I just went in there, I sauteed them up. Got my onions and bell peppers brown. I'm going in there with some mushrooms. Saute these up real quick. I kind of crowded the pan. What I probably suggest, if you work on the small area, cooking area like I am, probably just take the bell peppers and onions out real quick. Put another dash of a tablespoon of olive oil in there, and then get your mushrooms nice and brown. Preferably, you probably want to brown up your mushrooms first because they got a lot of water content inside the mushrooms, and you want to cook that off. But brown up your mushrooms first. Add your onions and bell peppers. I kind of mucked it up, but it's gonna come out good. Still got my onions and carrots. My apologies. Celery and carrots in here. I just put in the tomatoes just because, man. I ain't using no tomato base or nothing like that. Still tomatoes in there, Merlot, and we still got our browned roast beef here and garlic to put in. We're gonna make sure that we brown up these vegetables first, and then add our minced garlic. They only take about 30 seconds to brown because we don't want to burn it. And then followed up with the wine. We're gonna deglaze that. As soon as the vegetables finish up browning up here, I'll be back. Man, look at that roast beef. That motherfucker look good enough to eat now. I ain't gonna lie, I took a little piece off the edge, but it ain't tender yet. But that motherfucker tastes so good, nice and seasoned. All right, but yeah, back to what. Look, our vegetables are nice and brown. Mushrooms are getting there. Right now, I'm about to go in with a tablespoon of garlic, nice and brown. But let's go in with a tablespoon of garlic. A little rule of thumb: when you're using the red wine, bro, make sure you get you a nice red wine, man. This is what's going into your food. You know what I mean? I mean, this ain't like the most expensive, but if it's good enough to drink, typically it's good enough to cook with. You want to get you a dry wine, something that's not sweet. When you're making this, this is a savory dish that I'm making here. Don't get the sweet wine. Get you something dry like a Merlot. And cooking wine is cool, man. If that's all you got, that's nice to have in your cabinet. But real talk, you want to make sure that the wine that you're using is something like a wine that you would actually drink, man, that you would eat with your dinner. Like this leftover wine, we're probably gonna have that with dinner tonight. I'm gonna have that. It's gonna pair well with the roast beef. Like guys. All right, so we're gonna go in there with about a tablespoon of this garlic. Just about. Garlic going in. You're only gonna put this in there for like 30 seconds, man, because you don't want that garlic to brown. You don't want it to burn up. It takes a little bit to cook. All right, that's getting ready, man. It's getting sexy. If that gets sexy, you know what I mean? At this time, I thought I had some dry thyme in there, but I didn't. So I mucked that up. But I do have some Italian seasoning, right? This motherfucker got basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, and sage. Not typically some of those herbs I wouldn't put in it, but I'm only putting a little bit just to give it a nice little aroma. Know what I mean? So I'm just going there with a couple of dashes of that while it's sauteing. A couple of dashes do. We ain't going too much. Know what I mean? Stir it up. Get it sexy. Go ahead and get your motherfucking red wine ready. Know what I mean? And you're gonna put in about a half a cup of that. Be right back. I need another hand. Alright guys, I'm back. You about to go in about a half a cup of red wine. A little bit more. Red wine is gonna taste me that bitch shit good. You know what I'm saying? After you pour in your red wine, make sure you take a swig, man. Take a swig of the red wine. I mean, deglaze your pan, man. All that good stuff that's from your sauteing, man. All that brown loveliness. Make sure you get it up, man. There we go. Look at that. See that brownness on there? My bad. This camera all fogged up. But it's basically all that brown font on the bottom. You want to get that up, man. Now's the time. That's all that lugginess that you've been developing up until this point. All right, so right now the alcohol's cooking out of our red wine. It's getting sexy. Make sure you get all the fun up. Now's the time. Get that fun up. Typically, probably want to use some beef stock, but today I don't have any beef stock, or chicken stock for that matter. But I do have a bouillon cube, so I'm gonna go in there with one bouillon cube, and I'm gonna add some filter water. You could use some faucet water, but you know, man, I like the in taste. I feel like I'm just bougie as fuck, really. I use the filter water for my sauce. I like the end result. I like the way it tastes. Oh shit. Going up with some red pepper flakes, know what I mean? Just a couple red pepper flakes. And bouillon cube. Be right back. Alright guys. So I decided to go with just a half a bouillon cube because believe it or not, the wine it got some sodium in there, so it's gonna make it a little salty as well. The wine is cooked down. You basically hear it sauteing again. I'm gonna go in there and deglaze this with about a bottle of filtered water. What's this, like a 16-ounce bottle? 16-ounce bottle of filtered water. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure to go in there and deglaze that again because I kind of let the wine a little bit too much. Get everything you got off the side, know what I mean? Oh yeah, that thing about to get sex. Look at that. Go ahead and taste that thing for some salt right now. I seen I have some leftover onion gravy mix in the goddamn cabinet. I'm about to put that in there. Man, you can mix and match it how you want, man. I'm just giving you the basics, know what I mean? I'm going there with this, I got some leftover onion gravy mix. Know what I mean? You can make that shit from scratch, bro. But, you know, sometimes I just keep that shit in the cabinet, whatever. In case you want to whip up something real quick. You be tired, man. We working people, you know what I mean? Make it easy, man. It's good to know how to do that stuff, though. So, you know, definitely learn, man. I'll make some videos on that later. Definitely learn how to make everything from scratch. But it's good to have those things on hand. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, it's just very convenient, man. We working people, you know what I mean? Let's mix that in there. Make sure you don't start with too much salt because you can always add salt later. Right now, I'm just going there with the roast beef. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just grab the whole damn thing. It cooled down. I had it out the oven for a while. And as you can see, this has the rack on it. You see that right there? I'm putting the rack down on top. So it's not going to be submerged in the water. I'm going to pressure cook it just like that. Got enough water in there from all the water content we put in there. Onion, garlic, everything else. God damn. That motherfucker roast beef did good. That's just the seasoning off that motherfucker. I lost my train of thought. That motherfucker good. Get a paper towel. You know what I mean? Alright. Let me focus. Alright, so this is what we doing. Get your top, man. Right? Put your top on here, right? Close that bitch, right? This is what we're gonna do. Gonna cut it off. We was doing the just cut it off real quick because it's on saute, and I'm gonna pressure cook it for. Let's just start off for 35 minutes. All right, mostly this is cooked already. Oh, I'm fucking up though. Hold up. Damn. Fucking up. Check your boy out, man. You could saute your onions, your celery, and your carrots, but I put so much in there that I don't want it to have like a pronounced flavor. I'm just going up with the tomatoes whole. It's gonna dissolve, man. Let's put that right on top. And I don't want my celery to break. I mean my carrots to break up. So I'm gonna put that on top so it don't dissolve. Just twist that on. Set it for 35 minutes, set it, forget it, know what I mean? I'm gonna clean up, then I'm gonna come back after this finishes up. Be easy. Yo, what's good, y'all? I'm back, man. Right now the pot roast is still twerking. I got about 2 minutes left. I'm gonna check the tenderness of it. I'm gonna serve this with some roasted some mashed potatoes. I was gonna go lazy and go with the instant mashed potatoes, but kind of feel like having some fresh mashed potatoes. Nothing beats it, man. You could go with some any potatoes you like, really. I prefer the Yukon Golds, but this is what I have in the fridge today, so I'm gonna go with that. These bacon russet potatoes, those will work too. I'm just peel them up, cut them in about inch thick cuts, square cuts, and then I'm gonna start off with some cold water. Make sure the water's salted, then cut it back down to low, and then we're just gonna let that cook off until fork tender. That's how we're gonna make these. I'll go ahead and I'll record as I'm doing that. I'm just letting y'all know how we're gonna set that up. But yeah, I the mashed potatoes to do. These are cool when you're in a pinch and you ain't got no time. I'm off today, so I'm not gonna be lazy. I'm gonna just make the fresh potatoes because it tastes better. But yeah, that's what's happening today. I'm gonna try to finish this up. Run over to GameStop and pick me up the Sackboy Adventure and the Dirt 5. Because nigga got a bonus, you know what I mean? From work, so thank God. You know what I'm saying? They said they wasn't going to give us a bonus, but the shit still came through. Thank God, man. Hey, yo, but real talk, nigga trying to do the... man, this is probably going to be a part of a gaming and food series, you know what I mean? Niggas going to be cooking and gaming, you know what I mean? Me and the wifey looking at the Sackboy Adventure. That shit look pretty dope. Plus I hear some good things about it, so we're gonna cop that today. But yeah, man, I'll be back in a few. I'll holla at y'all. Alright, so this is what we did, man. I took some those russet potatoes that I had. I cut them in about inch pieces. You want to cut them relatively the same size if you can. Just cut them as close to the same cut as possible, man. This is a rush job. This one's like a little long, but it's all good. It'll cook evenly. What we're gonna do here is start off with some cold water. I filled up with cold water just enough to cover the potatoes, and you're gonna salt the water, and put a good amount of salt in the water. I got some kosher salt here, and you basically just want to salt the water till it tastes like the sea, just like the same way that you do your noodles, your spaghetti. Start off with some cold water, man. This will make sure that everything cooks evenly. We start off with cold water. Just taste the water for salt. Make sure that you can taste the salt at least. See, that's good enough salt. I don't need to add no more. Cut it up. Put the heat on. You're gonna cut the heat to low. Just start with low fire. That'll get your potatoes cracking. Basically, what's gonna happen is, since I got the water on low, right? It's gonna gradually come up to temperature, and everything's gonna rise to temperature at the same time. Rather than me putting in a pot of boiling water, where this is just the outside's gonna cook fast. Everything, including the internal temperature of the potato, is gonna rise with the water. That's why I'm starting off with cold water. Make sure the water's salted so that the salt penetrates the potato. And we might not even have to season the potatoes at the end with salt, but we could test it for salt later. But this is gonna help the process here. So just start off with cold water. Make sure the water's salted. And start with a low fire. Eventually it'll get there. You can walk away, check it back in 10 minutes, and you're gonna stab the potatoes until it's fork tender. What you're gonna do here. Alright, I'll be back. Not to forget our potatoes. The potatoes are percolating. Now I mean, I could still feel by just moving them around that the potatoes aren't ready, but they're getting there. They're not fork tender yet, I could tell already. But I'm gonna go ahead and check it with a fork, show you how it's done. Just get a fork, and what you want to do is try to insert it with a little pressure. Right now it's not there at all. It's just tough. It got to easily slide in. Once the fork easily slides in, pause. The potatoes are ready. You're going to drain off all the water, let it sit in whatever container that you have, and let it steam out. You're going to finish it off with some unsalted butter, some half and half, or some milk if you got some. Hit it up with some garlic powder, some salt and pepper, and you got your mashed potatoes, man. I would normally, if I had my Yukon Golds and I went to the grocery store earlier, I would have got some garlic, and I would have roasted the garlic with some rosemary. That comes out really good. I'll show you how to do that in another video soon. But yeah, that's what it is right now. I'll be back. Yo, what's good? Pressure cooker is basically, I believe it's depressurized. We're gonna check it right now. Alright, no pressure, we good. Pull off the top. Woo! Ooh, look at that. So the reason I didn't totally submerge the our pot roast is because I wanted to keep that color on it, right? And the bottom portion of it is basically submerged in the liquid. I know it's gonna take on the flavor, but I didn't want it to totally like it's not gotta get too tender. It basically the pressure from the steam tenderizes it enough. Plus, I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna cut it up in portions, bite-sized portions, not too small, because it's super tender. Look at this. It's breaking off on my finger. Shit's good. Let's check these carrots out. Make sure they tender. That's a carrot right here. See this carrot? Crush it with my hand. Carrots are whole, not broken up. Our mushrooms, onions, and bell peppers are tender on the bottom. I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit, and I'm gonna pick up the rack and the pot roast. But that motherfucker tender. Look at it, man. With the wooden spoon, I broke off a piece of the meat. You see that? Ooh, that shit hot. Of course it is. But check this shit out. Look at that. Look how tender it is, man. Nice and tender. Perfectly seasoned. I'm gonna pull out the pot roast in a little bit. Put on the cutting board, let it cool down, and we're gonna check our sauce for seasoning. That's what we're doing, y'all. With the same pot I boiled my potatoes in, let's strain it off. I'm gonna go in with some cream. About that much cream. That's half and half. And I'm gonna go in with some butter. Just to warm it up. Swirl it around. This is the same pot that I boiled my potatoes in. That's melted. Pepper. I'm not gonna put any salt right now. Some peppers. Let's go ahead and I'm not gonna put any garlic in. I decided not to. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of these potatoes back. And then we're gonna mash it up. Mash it up now. My masher here. Start mashing it into the cream and butter. Make sure that I got it there. You need to adjust your cream and your butter mixture. You want to get it loose, man. But I got that at the bottom there. I'm gonna need some more milk. It looks like some cream. I'll probably just put some milk and some more butter in there. Salt and pepper to taste. And you can have your mash. I can't do this with one hand, so I'm gonna come back to y'all and show y'all what the end result look like. Go. That's what we got right now, man. This is the roast beef that I roasted off and I finished off in the pressure cooker. I'm gonna put this on the cutting board and cut it against the grain, man. Get some nice. It's already tender, man. Look at, it's tender. You see that jiggle action right there? I don't want it too damn tender, but it's like perfect tender. I only put it in for 35 minutes, but I par cooked it and got the browning off in the oven, and then finished it off in the pressure cooker about 35 minutes. Super tender. Yes, sir. About to go down. Alright, y'all. So what I ended up doing, I mashed it up. I added a little bit more cream because it was a little too thick, and some pepper. I think I put enough butter in there. Just gonna mash it up, man, so you get the consistency that you like. You might like your potatoes a little bit more loose than mine. Because my sauce, I don't want to thicken up my sauce too much for the beef stew, or the pot roast. I'm gonna leave this a little thick, and I'm gonna pour it. That shit nice. Look at that mashed potatoes. That's some good mashed potato right there. You ain't gotta get that store brand shit. I mean, you can, but it's nothing better than fresh mashed potatoes, man. It just takes the love, man. Simple mashed potatoes. I didn't even put the rosemary, the roasted rosemary and garlic in there like I normally do, man. But this alone is just simplistic, and it just takes the vine, man. I'm gonna plate this up and show y'all what it look like. We're done. Yeah, guys, home stretch. Just get you a nice clean bowl. Make a little well in your mashed potatoes, almost like you're coating it a little bit, and we're just gonna go in. Oh, got to show y'all. Here's the end result, man, of the pot roast. As you can see here, let me back this up a little bit. It's hot steam. Look, that's your pot roast, man. Big chunks. Got your mushrooms in there. Celery, bell peppers, onions, carrots. Everything you need, man. It's right there. Look how rich that is. Just put that in your mashed potatoes. That little well that we put into the mashed potatoes. Let me show you how I plate this up. Get you a good scoop like this. Normally you want to bring the bowl to the whatever your food is in, but I'm holding the tablet in my hand recording this, so just clean it off on the side so it don't drip. Bring that. I'm just gonna pour that into the well of your mashed potatoes. This is the plate for the wifey. For my wife. Let's go with another chunk. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. She like vegetables, so I'm gonna get her some more sauce and some veggies. Just pour that over the top like that. I mean, look at that. Savory goodness, man. It was warm. It's a little hot today, man. We in South Florida, but you know, I thought it was gonna be cold today, but we're gonna eat this just the same, man. Look at that. Serve it up, eat it up, man. Hey, it's your boy, Magnificent Black, man. Giving you some of that food porn, I mean. Holla at me, man. I'm finna clean up and go up to GameStop, man. Holla at your boy.